want to bring in Republican Congressman Eric Burlison of Missouri. He's a member of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Tell us why your committee still has not issued its subpoena for the Justice Department to release what are called the Epstein files. Do you have an update on when that might happen?
I know that Chairman Comer is heartfelt and earnest in his pursuit. I think right now he's focused on getting Ghislaine Maxwell in front of the Oversight Committee staff for a deposition. And I know that negotiations are ongoing at this time.
CNN has learned, Congressman, that Senate Democrats on the Homeland Security Committee are planning to use an arcane law to try to force the Justice Department to release additional files from the Epstein case. You've called for the files to be released. Do you support this move by these Democrats?
I support any mechanism that will release files without harming the identities of the victims. I think that the American people need to know, and I also think that any, exculpatory evidence that might, help someone prove their innocence should also be released. Let the American people decide based on what files have been released. But I think that until we demonstrate that we are transparent on this issue, people are going to continue the conspiracy theories are going to continue to run amok.
Yeah, they certainly will. The President Trump said yesterday, I should say, that the Epstein, quote, stole young women who worked as employees in his Mar-a-Lago spa down in Florida, including one of the most well-known Epstein accusers, Virginia Giuffre, who died earlier this year by suicide. What's your reaction to Trump's comments?
Yeah, I think that, Trump did not visit Epstein Island. I take him at his word for that. I think that he's trying to make sure that the files are released in a proper way. I think that what he's also, having to deal with is the fact that some people in his administration overpromised without knowing exactly what was available to them when it came to releasing the files and not knowing where the status of the investigation truly was. And so I think he's having to handle that situation delicately. So I believe that at the end of the day, the goal is to get these files released without harming the victims, and I think that that's a shared goal that we all have.
I know you've called it a political mistake to have raised expectations about new revelations related to Epstein. Have you spoken to the president or anyone in his administration, for that matter, about how to better handle the political fallout surrounding Epstein?
Yeah, I think that, these are not mistakes of the president, in my opinion. It's Pam Bondi's office and the way in which they overpromised and not knowing exactly what she had access to and what information was on her desk. So, and then I think that the whole, bringing in the social media influencers for a release, it demonstrated to me a political failure. And so I think that hopefully they've learned from that and they're more diligent and thoughtful in the way in which they're going to release informations and thoughtful in the way in which they're going to set expectations.
And what are you hearing, I'm curious, from your constituents, Congressman, about how they think the president has so far responded to all of this?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Actually, whenever I'm in my district or when people from the district come to visit my office, many of them are wearing Trump hats or MAGA hats. And they you can have both views, that you want to support the release of these files, but also wholeheartedly support President Trump and his efforts. And so I think that that's where my district stands. They love President Trump, but they also love the truth. And they think that truth is a great, sunlight is a great disinfectant.
Yeah, truth is important. Where do you stand, Congressman, on Ghislaine Maxwell's offer to testify before your committee in Congress, but with very specific conditions, including immunity and getting advance word on the questions you want to ask?
Yeah, I think that I'm fine with giving her some advanced word on the questions. I'm also fine with giving her some form of immunity. In speaking with a friend of mine who is a former U.S. prosecutor, he advised that when he was when he was in this situation, that he would provide immunity on the things that the witness was going to testify, to provide immunity against themselves, that individual, for further prosecution, so long as, and he would put a clause in that it's proven that what they said is true. And so I think that this is probably what Congress should be pursuing, what Chairman Comer should be pursuing. And I've told him this, that we need to, if she's asking for immunity, then we need to make sure that it's predicated on the fact that she's honest with her testimony.
And as you know, Congressman, she's currently serving a 20-year prison sentence for participating in the sexual assault cases against these young girls who were working down there. The president has not ruled out a pardon for Maxwell. Why isn't the president explicitly saying he won't pardon a convicted sex trafficker?
I think he's keeping his powder dry. I mean, a lot of times when we're asked questions on the spot, having not had the opportunity to fully vet them, the safe place is to keep your powder dry. And so I think that in general, and if you're asking my opinion, I don't think that pardoning her is even remotely something that should be thought about. I think that if she's able to bring forward truth and bring forward information that might be able to benefit the lives and help some healing occur for some of these young victims, there's things outside of a pardon, I think, that should be considered.
All right, Congressman Eric Burlison, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.